This is the Banded Retreat Podcast.
This is an outdoor podcast where we talk about everything from faith to family to leaving a legacy for those to come.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Banded Retreat Podcast. We have closed out 2024, looking into 2025. Christmas is come and gone, and half a duck season's come and gone too.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that this season we're already in our third split, and things are moving quickly. I mean, less than be 29 days left of duck season, and over halfway gone, like you said. And we've had some success, but we also had, in 2024 there was a hurricane that took out mid-split and all those things. You can't help, but it's just good to be here and looking forward to this new year and everything that we got going on coming in 2025.
Yeah, for sure, man. And we've got more stuff to unpack with the new year, and maybe even talk about some Christmas gifts here.
Absolutely.
But first, I want to start with our devotion here, and it's 2 Corinthians 1:3. Praise be to the God and the Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of compassion and the God of all comfort, who comforts us in all of our troubles, so that we can comfort those in any trouble with the comfort we ourselves receive from God. 2024 was a year of loss. We've already talked about that for us, and it's a year of gain certainly, but we had a year of loss, personal loss. Really lost Pastor Hurt, and lost our buddy Jason Paetzel, and really just a couple weeks ago lost a dear friend of ours, Rodney Oxley. And I look at that verse, and I read some things on Facebook about Rodney being an encourager.
Yeah.
And, that verse really speaks to me. God is a God of comfort, and he sends us the Holy Spirit in time of need. And, I think around the holidays, a lot of people, the things that we lack sometimes overshadow the things that we have. And I know that there are a lot of people out there who have suffered loss. And I guess today I wanted to bring encouragement to you, telling you that God is a God of comfort, and the Holy Spirit is here to comfort you, and God has sent us the Holy Spirit for that. And I just want to be an encourager for you to know that the Lord, he's going to take care of you.
Absolutely.
He's going to take care of you in the season, whatever that season might be, and whatever loss that might be. And I guess my challenge for you today, and thinking about Rodney and the spirit of old Rodney, be an encourager to others. And somebody has a doctor's appointment that they have coming up, and just be an encouraging word for them. And if somebody, anything that they're going through, if they bring anything up, I encourage you to pray for them. And prayer is a super encourager for people in time of need. So, just wanted to bring that to today, and really going on throughout this year.
Absolutely. The loss of Rodney, he was a good friend. He's a good friend of TBR also. He always liked our posts, shared them, and watched the podcast, and was an avid listener. And not just that, he was a pastor on staff with me and a good friend and hunting buddy. We went hunting a couple times together, and we had shared some moments together. I went and scouted with him a couple times on his lease, and just did all kinds of things together. But he was a supreme encourager, and he knew everybody, and he's the strong country boy, the man's man. He was strong and tough, and rode horses and had cattle, and just all those things that you look at. But even more importantly than those things of being the man's man on the outside, he was truly a man of God, a great friend. And as I preached his funeral, it was truly an honor to honor him in that way. And 5 people gave their heart to the Lord in that moment. And it was awesome to see him go out that way. And then the next day at the graveside, his son led him out, his horse out, and then they took him by carriage up on the mountain where he's buried. And, just truly a man's man, and incredible moments with him. Just throughout life. But encourage somebody today. Make sure comment to somebody, send the text, make things right, because you just never know what tomorrow might bring. You don't know who will be around the Christmas table the next year, or in the hunting blind with you the next year. So it's always good to send that message and encourage somebody, love on somebody today. That's a great word. And God brings us comfort when we do lose people. In the midst of all the loss we have this year, there is a peace knowing that God is our Savior, and one day, because we're Christians and believers, that we can see Him again.
Absolutely.
And that's the promise of Jesus Christ living in our lives.
Yeah, No, thankful for the Holy Spirit, man, that comforts us. So, well, 2025's here, and we've got a trip coming up the last 3 days of January, and I've made a couple calls over to Arkansas, and from what I understand, it's typically the last 2 weeks of January in Arkansas are like killer weeks, and but I've said it before, we really know how to scare the ducks off. I mean, we really do. People said that we were known as the West Virginia boys. Everybody knew us as the West Virginia boys down in North Carolina. When we come down there, the ducks would just disappear.
Yeah.
So we struggled out there for years, and now we're going to the duck capital of the world, and we're scaring them off there. So I don't really know.
I know. We go last year is the worst season they've had in 30 or 40 years, they said, or whatever. Supreme
you
drought.
Just wait till 2025.
You thought it got worse, though. No, hopefully we get on some, maybe a couple speckle bellies. Arkansas has really turned pretty heavy into goose. You know, there's a lot of migration of geese and snow geese and speckle bellies. So we killed a couple last year, but none that were mature. So we're hoping to get that big bar belly. That'd be awesome to see.
Yeah.
And just really just hunt with some friends. We're taking some new people and some people we haven't hunted with there, and so it'll be a great experience. It's a long drive and a lot of time in a car together where we be able to share and talk and just hang out and have more hunting stories and create some memories.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of just closing out last year, you went on a bear hunt.
I did. It was the first time I ever been bear hunting. A guy, Nick Shrewsbury, shout out to Nick. He hooked me up, and there's some controversial things with bear hunting. Some people don't like it, and some people, especially if you hunt with dogs, there's a lot of controversy with that. But I'm telling you, the first time being out there, I went with a guy named Dean Moses. He owns quite a few dogs here in the area, and just an avid bear hunter. And we went out and we went on to some private property, and it was really, to be in the trucks and riding around with the dogs, and the dogs strike the scent. And then before you know it, man, they're single file going up a mountain, and man, they love it. Those dogs, we've talked about this before. Those dogs, they love to hunt. That is what they love to do. I mean, you couldn't hold them back. They struck at, and they wanted to hunt. That's what they are. They're hunting hounds. That's what they want. And so it's kind of like what we've talked about retrieving. Your dog wants to retrieve. Your dog's, they're retrievers. They love it. It's what they live for, and they want to please their owner. And so, anyway, we struck a couple, and those didn't work out. But the last one, we went and he's walking the dog out to change some camera pictures and some things, and before you know it, the pup struck. And he said it was a young pup, so he's like, man, I don't know if it's anything, but he told us to let the dogs loose, and sure enough, man, they're firing off, but they were a little scattered on the GPS, but we follow them out this trail, and we keep on going, and before you know it, he's like, man, it's 80 yards. He's like, man, they've got one treed. And I was like, no way. So we get out, and we climb down the mountain. It's steep. It's in McDowell County in West Virginia, if you know that area. It's real steep. We went down over the mountain, and we see the bear treed, and I have a 270, and I lined it up. The bear's treed, and they like a headshot. That's what they say is the most humane. The bear dies instantly, plus it doesn't fall and alive and wound, and hopefully it doesn't kill a dog or swipe at a dog. If you kill it in the tree, it's got a great chance of not hurting any dogs, and that's what you want. You don't want any dogs hurt. You try to pull the dogs back, and then you take the shot, and so everything goes good. And so I took the shot, and it was one shot. Man, that thing fell, and it fell over another embankment, probably another 100 yards. It was steep, but we got it out. It was what we came for. It's about a 160-pound bear, and just a really awesome process to see those animals out in the wild, and then also see those dogs work, and just the camaraderie. I say there was probably 6 different vehicles there, and of trucks that were there. Everybody jumped in and helped. Everybody helped me get it up the hill. I mean, it was just really a lot of camaraderie that was there with people bringing all their dogs and all that, and we celebrated that. And then it started to snow a little bit, and we were heading out, and we actually got stopped by a game warden on the way out.
Really?
And yeah, I didn't even tell you that. So, you know, you get stopped by the game warden. He was asking us, you know, if we had any luck, and his exact statement is like, a lot of people give bear hunters a lot of grief. There's a lot of people talk about them hunting with dogs, but he said, you know what the problem is with bear hunters? There's not enough of them. McDowell County's overran with them. There's 4 counties that you can kill 2 bears in. McDowell County's one of them. We're just overran with them, and so that's what they want. You know, it's like it hurts the deer population. It pushes other things out, and so you know they're like, we need more bear hunters. That's what they like. And those bear hunters, man, they like to take people. So it was just an awesome experience. Cool to harvest it. And got to bring it back. My boys saw it. I actually took it to their basketball practice, and all the team came outside. They wanted to see it, so it was an awesome moment. And I'm going to get it half mounted probably soon. So yeah, it was an incredible experience in the West Virginia mountains where there is a ton of black bear.
Yeah, that is awesome, man. That's awesome. Of course, I love the whole dog aspect of it, and would love to get out there and do it, man. I tell you, we've talked about this before. It's hard to do more than one thing.
Absolutely.
You know, getting that invite is definitely you know, a perk with that, because you know, I don't know that we could do it on our own.
No, absolutely.
You know, you don't have the supplies. You got to have the right tools, and those dogs are definitely tools.
Absolutely. There's there's probably 30. I think we hunted with 32 dogs, and you know, and the other thing is, it's not all of them in one spot. Like sometimes we'd converge, but really you have 6-8 dogs that are with you in the truck with you with 2 other guys. So we had 4 guys in our truck with us. So it was me and 3 others. And then we had about 6 or 8 dogs. And that's kind of what we were hunting one side of the ridge. The other guys go the other side. They all got CB radios. They're all talking. Hey, we struck one. Is there any shooters in the truck? You know, and it's just a lot of fun. It really is. And you get to go and talk to them. The day before I killed, they killed a 300-pounder, which was awesome. I got to see it hanging in the freezer, and it's a massive animal. They're massive. Even the 160. I mean, you think, oh, it's on 160 bear you don't want to mess with.
Yeah.
I mean,
and it's like we talked. Shout out to Dare to Hide, because, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Hyde County bear, it just puts in perspective a 700-pound bear.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
it's
more than double. It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, especially when I was trying to drag that thing and move it even a little bit. I mean, it's heavy, and it's awkward to drag. If those guys, they had ropes, they had probably, I don't know, 400 yards of rope with a come along on the back of their the hitch, and they had another truck they hooked up to it, brought the rope down the mountain, and then they started backing up the truck to be able to pull the bear up. I've got a little video of the bear going up the mountain, but I'm telling you, without that, I'd still be dragging.
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
They do. It's truly an art. But that was a great experience, and I know you went on a little duck hunt. You got to go out, and I think you killed a couple geese or something, didn't you?
Yeah. So it's been pretty sparse around here. I don't really know what to chalk it up to. It's not been a great year. I think for the year for us really not to be able to go much, I think this is a good year to pick.
Yeah.
So far, but we've experienced the hurricane. We've experienced a pretty early cold front, and I've made the comment a couple times, and I hold my breath saying it, but I think they might have passed us up.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say that is we've got common mergansers it seems like by the thousands, and usually that's an end of January bird.
Right.
Definitely, and I know I haven't been doing this a long time, but I've been doing this enough to say this is the first time I've seen ruddy ducks here in December.
Yeah.
So I think it was early.
Yeah.
I believe it was early. I've talked to a couple other people down south who believe it's early too, but yeah, anyway, it's not been a great year, so I had an opportunity to get out a little bit later in the morning. Pastor hadn't been on really any successful hunts this year, and because I've tried to take Mabel as much as I can, and that's not been many times, but I got him out on the boat, and the local lake here has really struggled with the hurricane, and, and we had a lot of debris, and there were several acres of debris that we had to get cleaned up, and so they're still working on that even at the first of the year. And so anyway, I got out on the lake. They had cleaned it up pretty well, not a lot of people out there, and so I just went out to see what I could see. We killed 2 geese, 2 Canadas, and then killed a female bluebill.
Yeah.
So that was cool, but I mean that was really the only things we saw out there.
Yeah.
There was a pretty good. I mean, out of the geese, it was a group of 20 geese. Went 2 for 3 there, but and then the only duck I saw was that female bluebill.
Yeah. Well, we went out on opening day, me and a couple other buddies, and we at shooting light, it was pretty covered, but man, it was feast, and then famine came right at. I mean, it was just the moment. I think we put down, I think it was 4. We ended up with 4, but other than that, we went out another day. I got to take Eli for the first time, and before shooting light, 3 teal lighted in at his feet. Of course, we didn't shoot. And then they fluttered out, and then probably 5 minutes later is when shooting light came, and we saw some birds just flying sky high, just like they were leaving this area. Yeah. And there wasn't many, probably less than 10. And I mean, it's really crazy because you do feel like, man, the storm might have pushed them out, because we had some high winds and we had some things. We had a really cold front, kind of locked up all the ponds for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then it turns around and it's 60 degrees again, and everything's unlocked, and it feels like there's nothing here. And then it moves again, to a cold front, which we're in right now. And so it's just hard to tell what's going to happen. I mean, I think there's some snow in the forecast for the end of the week, so maybe a push comes and brings in some things, but it's just hard to tell. You just don't know. It's definitely been a scarce season. Not many ducks have. It's not that they haven't fallen for us; they're just not here to fall.
Yeah, and it seems like it's so quick. They're on and off, and I think that's kind of where I'm at with this cold front. Is if we see a push of bird, it will give me a little bit more encouragement.
Yes, absolutely. We need it.
But if not, I mean, again, like the whole ruddy duck thing, we've seen common mergansers in December for sure. Not the numbers that I've seen, but the ruddy ducks in December scared me.
Oh yeah, I mean, last season at the end, that's about all it was ruddy ducks. I felt like they were all over. I mean, there wasn't that many of them, 10 of them, but they were all there.
We
constantly.
Get them in the last couple of weeks. Generally. Yeah. So I mean, if you were going to say that, they're about a month early.
Yeah.
They're about a month early.
And that's scary sometimes. You just don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know what the push will be, because sometimes, it seems like for here, our last week of January, sometimes typically is not good.
Yeah.
Usually it's pushed past us, or things haven't. It's slowed down. I feel a lot of times. I feel like we do better in the mid, but you just don't know. I mean, that's why it's hunting, and that's why we got to get out there and do it.
Absolutely. Well, and another thing that I think about is we're going to Commander Corner in at the end of January, and that is southeast Arkansas. I think it's southeast. It might just be considered south. I don't know, but it's at the bottom of Arkansas, and so hoping that even that's a good sign too. I mean, if you're going to be somewhere, you'd rather be not north, you know, at that late of the game. And again, this will be our second year going out, and I'm hoping that what those guys are saying is true. Last 2 weeks are going to be good, and I hope so.
Well, I believe it's our best opportunity, and to be down there, it's real. It's near, I think, Wilmot, and it's right near the Louisiana border too. Yeah. So it's like right on the line. So you never know. I mean, last year they didn't have much ducks. They had some geese, and we got on them one day, which we talked about that. It was a great hunt. The greatest hunt that never was. I mean, and you go back and listen to that episode. I don't remember what it was, but it hurts my heart a little bit. We put down a lot of birds and had a lot of fun, and then the owner said we couldn't hunt no more. But it was one of the greatest hunts we've ever been on.
Well, I've been seeing some pictures out there. I mean, they're putting them down right now. I mean, I think that. I mean, I don't know. We found these guys last year, and this seems like more pictures than last year. So. That's a good thing. At least the people I'm talking to are saying that it's pretty good right now. And so,
well, it's got to be better in here, and it's definitely, we need something to heat up so that we can get out there and get some success. But
well, let me ask you this before we take off here. New Year's resolutions. I know that's always pretty cliche, but I mean, does anything come to mind when you think about New Year's resolutions for 2025?
I've been thinking about it just a little bit. I'm still actually. I think if I look in the Bible app, that's the one. I've said it before. That one year when we went through all this, I don't even remember when it was, And I mean, it's been a long time. So it's 2,201 days in the Bible app. So my weights went back up. I'm not running. I actually got a bone spur on the back of my heel that gives me grief right now, and all the other things. But the one thing that I made sure I did was get in the Bible every day. So it's 2,201 days today. And so, you know, out of everything, if I keep my spiritual walk strong and family life good, you know, if the weight goes up and down and the running comes and goes, I feel like I'm okay. The biggest thing is I do need to shed some pounds. I think everybody says that, you know, it's like it's always something. But really just to spend more time with my family and also to just take advantage of every moment. I think this year with the year of loss, as we've said, you got to savor every moment. You don't know when like this could be our last hunt ever with these guys to Arkansas. You just don't know.
Sure.
So it's like, let's enjoy that trip, or let's enjoy, you know, a dinner together, because you just don't know what's going to happen. And I think that's the thing, is that if you can keep a perspective of savor every moment, because every moment, the next moment's not promised. If I could just keep in that mindset of enjoying time together in those moments and not push past them, because I think we do that in life. People push you past the moment.
Yeah.
You know, like you just had your daughter's first Christmas. That's a big deal. You know, it's like that's a major movement. But everybody's like, man, I can't wait till next Christmas, or I can't wait till
the next thing.
The next thing.
Like just the next thing. Like I've said this a couple months ago. Like if we rush to get to the end of January for a duck hunt, because I would do it.
Yeah.
If there was an easy button right here, I might push it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But you know, even the next thing, just like 3 or 4 weeks, like just wait 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Because you're pushing past, like you said, first Christmas, potentially a Christmas without everybody there.
Oh yeah.
You know, and you know, those things, it is easy to take things for granted, and time is definitely a special thing, a special gift.
Well, and you know, as I was talking to a guy at church just yesterday, he was saying I think he's around 78. He's a retired military man, and he said, if you've got your health, you got everything.
Yeah.
Your health means so much. Like money can come and go. You can be poor and still get out and walk in the woods and do things. You know, it's like you can always find something, but your health, when it starts deteriorating, you know, a lot of the things that you like to do and go down with it. So it's like, man, savor the health when you got it, when you're young. Go out and fish, go out and hunt, go do it. You're just not promised. I talked to another guy at church, and he said the same thing. He said, man, I went to New River, and I started wading in the river. I go by myself all the time, tell my wife I'm going. He said, I got down there, I stumbled 3 times. I packed up my stuff up and said, it's my last fishing trip by myself. I cannot do it no more. I'm not going to do it. Said my wife called and was like, where are you at? He said, I'm at home on my front porch drinking coffee. And she said, what? He said, yeah, I just can't do it no more. I'm too shaky and too unstable to do it by myself. And so you just got to think, man, it comes back to that. That's not a downer. That's an encourager to get out and go do it now. Get out and hunt with your buddies. Get out and teach your kids how to hunt. Go do it and enjoy the time while you have it.
Yeah, and really, it's just a new year, new mindset, and just a reminder. I think, you know, a lot of similar things for myself, but I've been on the safety kick lately.
Yeah.
And I've been posting about it on Facebook. If you follow my personal Facebook, which not many people do, but you know, I got a lot of little gadgets and stuff. The biggest thing I think with the safety aspect is to be organized. If you're not organized, it can make a terrible situation even worse. And you know, you and I talked about it yesterday. I just got a new med kit for my blind bag. It's something I've always carried, something I've carried since I've had the dog.
Right.
And then, you know, in the years, it's kind of progressed to where now I got the new med kit that's more than just the dog. It's a trauma kit for other people. And you know, it's pretty silly if you're out there and you don't carry a med kit or don't have somebody in your group that goes regularly and you don't carry one. It's pretty silly to go without it. You know, anything can happen anytime. I was talking to somebody just yesterday who said that they took their little girl and the guy, this was a friend of theirs, but the little girl's gun misfired or whatever. She just, you know, wasn't practicing safety, gun safety, but shot her dad's leg off.
Oh my!
Shot it off at the ankle, and so, you know, it can happen. It can happen to seasoned people, and so anyway, I'm on the safety kick, and that kind of just playing into to duck season, and just I think it's really important for people to carry a med kit, and I really encourage you to do so. It could save somebody's life. You don't have much time. I mean, we had the experience down in North Carolina. We didn't know the guy, but he was there when we were there, and same situation. Took his 5-6-year-old son. Gun was falling off from what I understood. Gun was falling down. The boy went to go catch it, and pulled the trigger, I guess, and got his dad in the leg, and he bled out within 5 minutes.
Yeah,
you don't have time. If nothing else, carry a tourniquet.
Yeah, absolutely, because you just don't. You got to do it quick, and typically, if you hunt wherever that is, everywhere we've been, it's a long way to a hospital. It's a long way out. So
to help, just in general. Yeah,
you've got to have something right there that you can do, and hopefully it turns for the best for that. But if you're not prepared, every time when we get into the duck blind, man, there's a safety spill. Keep your safeties on. Don't put the safety off until you're getting ready to pull the trigger. Yep. Then put it back on. Yep. Because those things, it matters. And don't pull on. The dog might break. Most of the time we keep it tethered, but something crazy happens and something moves it. Wait and make sure you know what you're shooting at before you pull the trigger, and always be careful and hold your gun, and all those safety spills. But we do it every time. Why? Because it matters every time.
Yeah,
it's kind of like it's the thing at the in the airport. When you're on the airplane, it's like, man, you're not listening to that stewardess, but I'm telling you, if you ever went down, you'd be like, man, where's that pour cord? Yeah. Where's the thing to put the oxygen in? What'd she say?
What'd she point?
I need it. Put yours on first.
For sure. For sure. Yeah. And that's my thing for 2025. Be prepared, be organized. To be organized is being prepared. You got to know where to go, what to get, and where to get it. And if you got a mess on your hands is not going to help the mess.
No, absolutely.
So,
well, I guess that's it for this. I hope your January's successful. I mean, by the time we come back to you, man, duck season's going to be over.
Yeah.
You might get a little bit more goose and some conservation season, but man, I hope your duck season's great. I hope the rest of your season, maybe you're doing some of that primitive hunting. I know in West Virginia you can do longbow and some of that stuff. So I just hope you have a great time hunting with some friends and encourage somebody, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for joining us today. You can find us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, X, Threads, and TikTok at The Banded Retrieve.
You can also find us on our webpage, thebandedretrieve.com. We would love to connect with you on any of those platforms, or you can also email us at info@thebandedretrieve.com.